Hey everybody. So I wanted to talk about how much football can teach you about how you work. And knowing some of that can make such a difference to how you play and how fit you get and healthy you are. So football's fantastic because, first off, it's going to make you fit because it's going to help you improve your bones. Because when you're running around, you're putting pressure on your bones. It makes your body use calcium and phosphorus and all the things that make bones strong. It gives them a direction for where this energy goes. All these nutrients are then used properly. So there's all sorts of things that we're taught when you do sports science. You start to learn where all these nutrients go, and they make a huge difference to your bones, your nerves, and to the rest of your body. But people don't seem to realize that this is just simply exercise. As you run around, it's channeling where those nutrients go. That is the fundamental part of why running around is so good. Okay. I'll talk about that more deeply at some other point, but just running around channels all the nutrients and energy as it should be used. It improves your lung capacity because when you run around, what you find is you need to get so much oxygen going through your body, and it's 3 to 4 times what you would normally need. So therefore, while your blood pumps more, so that's a way of creating more blood, use the same blood to keep recharging that blood with oxygen and taking carbon dioxide off. That's what is really happening at the lung level and through your body. But what happens is that chemically your body actually gets better at taking oxygen from blood and switching it between carbon dioxide. That's happening at the lungs and it's happening within the cells. This isn't obvious. It's not really something any doctors are trained to understand. It's not even the coaches don't seem to have a clue about it. It's only very specifically if you pay attention to it and you're at the geek that I am, you start to know that your lungs are getting better at gaseous transfer. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about. But basically running around is really good to help you for any respiratory problems. It keeps your respiratory system working well. It keeps your muscles working well because they need to use every resource they've got well under pressure. Same as with your nerves. You may not think about it, but your nerves do work like wires. But biologically, if you understand how a nerve works, it's depolarizing things, which means it's sending chemicals from one side of a neuron to the other. I'm not explaining it very well here, but they're like wires, but you've got all these chemicals working from one side to another instantly. It's amazing, but it's hard work. It's energetically tough. When you are training for football, you're actually training these nerves all the time. And if you know, I've really noticed how you could see so many players, because I feel this myself when I train. I can tell when my nerves are tired because the muscle wants to move, but the nerve can't fire it. And the muscle won't move unless a nerve fires it. There's lots of things going on. So people won't normally have explained that, but playing football, I use that to keep me fit because it's one of the ones that really makes me run. Because tennis, when I play it, people don't make you run as much as in football because it's a much bigger pitch in football than it is in tennis. And tennis is much more about using your hands and your arms. And I'm lazy because I was in goal when I played in football, sorry. So I wasn't used to running so much. So the thing that improved me most in tennis was running. Well, football and all the top 4 tennis players, Roger Federer, Rafa Nadal, Andy Murray, Novak Djokovic, this is from that particular era. All of them played football when they were young. I tell my boy this all the time. So I'm having a football day because I'm just watching Man United play Tottenham, and I just watched my boy play one of his local teams this morning, and all I see is in my head, because I know how the body works and how the mind works and all these different things, I can see the challenges, and I can see the beautiful humans that are running around and all sorts of things going on just because I picture it that way. So I see you can develop your emotional resilience and emotional intelligence by playing sport. And it's one of the best ways to do it. Because most of us, you see so many people struggling, you hear about the mental health problems. I did a video about that recently. Well, I find sport fantastic for training yourself when it comes to, just notice the window's open. If you're hearing anything, it's just that. Emotional regulation is such an important thing. And I said how in my family we weren't taught at all how to deal with emotions, and basically we're standing on the sideline. I'm standing on the sideline, and the parents are just yelling at the kids. They're yelling stuff out. They weren't terrible, but they're complaining about me as a linesman. And I'm thinking, I'm remembering a German that I listened to a podcast on and pointed out how he became a referee because he wanted to have emotional resilience. He wanted to just not care what people thought in a positive way. You know, he wanted to say, do you know what? I don't want other people's opinions to rule my life. And that was, to me, that's why football's wonderful for that. And that's why I respect him, because he wanted to not be affected by it. And that, I think, is something I notice lots of people are losing. We're not encouraging our children to say, do you know what, you may have said that, but I've got my opinion, I disagree. I found, going to work, other people have helped me with that, because I find that I can be good at being strong, but not all the time. And it can depend on the context. Having people around you who help you just go, do you know what, that's their opinion. Lots of ways of not worrying about it. Again, when I worked in a help desk, that helped me quite a lot. But I do particularly find sports. So I play a lot of tennis and football. And when you do it, you can accept, oh, I got it wrong. I didn't mean it. So whether I was on a linesman like I was today, I'm like, no, I called it best I could, you know? But you don't have to be perfect. I'm not a professional there. It's not my job to be perfect here. But it's the same in real life. When you're playing football and the ball goes past you, or you slide in, or you go up for the ball and maybe you bump into someone and people get hurt, you didn't mean it. It's just part of the game. And I've been hurt. Other people, I've hurt other people. You don't mean it. But tensions and pressures and emotions can get high in the game. But that's actually helpful because you're learning then how to deal with it. Because I find when then, say I'm at work and things do matter, well, now your salary can be on the line, or you can have upset someone through work. It's different, things matter. Maybe you've let a customer down or things like that. Well, what I do in football, what I do in these sports and hobbies is you're practicing how to handle it. And you get to see that, well, no, sometimes you do just have to apologize and just say that, yeah, that was my fault. Or, no, I thought it was the right time when I came in, it was the wrong time. It's a good way to practice a sport because most people don't care. That you can have a little word with each other or whatever, but actually you shake hands and the game finishes, you're not bothered. The amount of times I've seen people who are absolutely crazy in a match, but the second the whistle is gone, they're fine. They'll chat to you perfectly fine. And that helps you see a side of people and a way of going about things that's really useful, teaches you so much. And I find that at work as well. So often you have that same approach. People will be working hard and focusing on their team and they want to win. But actually outside, say the interview room or the meeting room that you're having while you're all competing, outside it, you're perfectly fine. I find these things, situations where this is normal in human beings. We're so complicated. There's so much going on inside a human. So emotion is just one of the things that's going on. Like I said, there's lots of other things in terms of health and all sorts. But putting yourself in situations where you can learn how to be the best human you can be, that's a lifelong pursuit. And hopefully I've given you something there. There's always 200 things that I'm thinking, like just watching football, just playing it, and I'm just going to go back down because this is half time, so this is just through it. I just kind of wanted to point out to you that watching football can be good for you if you want to use it. It will certainly teach you a lot about how you work. I'm watching and I'm seeing the difference that Amorim, I think, really is more like Alex Ferguson. He's the first manager we had for a long time at Man U that's at that standard, because Alex went deeper to rebuild an entire club and an entire team. The other managers we've had were more looking at the superficial side. You need someone who's very resilient to the emotional demands, the relentless emotional demands of being such a high-profile manager, because he's under huge pressure, yet Alex Ferguson could handle that. He was used to and perfectly fine with emotions. I mean, he bowled over, but it went past him. He was just so used to being an emotional person. It's not an issue for him. And I see this with Amorim. He came from Sporting Lisbon, and when I look at the stories, other people have helped me understand it. And there's a YouTube guy really goes through the history there. Everything he's doing at Man U is very similar to Sporting Lisbon. It was very tough times. And so I find football a nice little microcosm, particularly when you're playing it, but watching it as well, to go through the emotions, to deal with real life, but in a safe setting. That's essentially what I'm saying. That's what it should be. And I'm raising my kids to appreciate that, because my youngest did it as well, my little girl. I'm teaching her, you've got to go in there and just go and enjoy and don't worry about the result. If you lose, the team loses, because she's a goalie, and I saw a goalie make a mistake today, and felt terrible for her. And it's like, well, actually, the ball shouldn't have come to you. At that point, it could have been blocked. The team shouldn't have let the ball come to you. There's all sorts of ways of looking at it. But this is life. But it's just a game of football. That's why it can be so useful. If you find you're struggling with certain situations, so many hobbies and sports, whether it's painting and that's a way to travel, painting. So is football. It's a way to go around the world, do different things. But it's also a nice little microcosm where you can experience yourself as a human being with lots of things you're struggling with in life. You can set it up where you practice dealing with your emotion, practice the fact that you'll be upset, or your moods will go up and down and things like that. And you can see how they flow. And you can start to get control of yourself. You don't have to control your emotions. You can accept them and sometimes ignore them and say, I'm excited. I'm enjoying it, but I'm not going to get carried away. Or I'm low. Yes, I'm low. I'm tired and whatever. But it's not me. It'll pass. So there's 100 ways. And I've said for a long time that I wanted to do videos about sports. I'm getting inspired. Some people are helping me say these things better. Hopefully that's been better. Now, I want to know what you struggle with. I mean, what sports do you like? What do you like enjoying hobbies, sports, and whatever? What have I missed? What do you find brilliant? Because there's just a massive list. And it's just a reminder for you that actually going and being you, because if you're watching this and still here, you like sport. Okay, go play your sport. Find a way to play that sport without getting hurt. So if you play golf, find a way not to hurt your back. Same as tennis. If you play football, protect your knees, your hips, your feet, and all sorts of stuff. Those are the kind of things that I work on really hard to make sure that I can carry on playing and enjoying it. But also realize if you don't play, it's also bad for you. You need to enjoy it. Or if you don't watch it, I really missed watching because we couldn't afford the channel, So yeah, I can help you, show you how you work so that you can do this more, and also show you the value of doing the things that you love, and then it actually has massive important values for you. Because I didn't even talk about how it's great for weight loss, not just because running around, that's good for your energy and getting energy through your body. Yeah, that's the obvious part. What about when no one plays football and eats at the same time? If you increase the amount of time between meals, and watching and playing football can be a great way of doing it, because I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm thinking of the match. I did this with tennis. I did this with football and other things. You'll have your own ways of doing things, but as a binge eater, this really helps me, because if I'm sat bored with nothing to do, I will eat. And right now I'm at home, but watching TV, and particularly the way we're playing, it's more exciting. It's dragging me away from thinking of eating. It just goes on and on and on. So yeah, what do you like? What sports do you like? What you're interested in? What would you like me to cover? I can take this 100 different ways, because I love learning how amazing humans are. Share the things you find. Anyway, I'm going to see you in the next one, because I can just waffle on. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe if you want to hear more. And I definitely want ask me about the Invest in You course if you're interested, because that's something I want to show you. I want to show you how every single day you can make yourself a bit healthier, make a better future all the time. Okay, because the more you understand how you work, will give you ways to break down yourself, understand how you work a little bit at a time, and set you on a course where you will just age beautifully, because I'm aging better than people around me. And that's really all I've got to do, because I'm really excited about the future. I'm really excited about getting older, because I'm healthier and healthier and healthier. I could talk for ages about that. So let me know in the comments if you're interested. All right, see you in the next one, guys. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.